Once again, people think they're choosing a person, but sometimes they're choosing a timeline. And that's why I always say, el amor de tu vida está esperando que sueltes el amor de tu herida. The love of your life is waiting for you to let go of the love attached to your wounds. Excuse me?
Send from the light. Feel that vibration rise. Higher power guide. I'm a light being sent here to rise. Oh, lift up the people, open their eyes. Oh, moving with the power that lives inside. Guided by the truth, no need to hide. I'm a light being shining so free. Oh, bringing that love to humanity. From the darkness into the sun. Oh, we all awaken, we all are one. Yeah, feel that breeze, hear the spirit calling. No more fear, no more falling. Stand up strong when the night feels long. In your heart you know you belong. Plant that seed, let it grow within. Every loss turn a greater win. From the roots to the highest peak, there's a higher voice when you choose to sing. Yeah, I came from the silence, now I'm speaking with force. Had to tap in deep just to reconnect source. Every step that I take got intention aligned. I don't follow the crowd, I awaken the mind.
Hi everyone. This is a very different video than what you're used to seeing when it comes to our podcast, Awaken the Minds. I am your host, Monica Diapolini, or however you want to call me. I have a lot of names, so thankfully. I wanted to do and touch a different part of me that is a little bit more vulnerable of my understanding in the world and how I see the world and how I view the world. And I guess you can give this as something that you can learn from. I can teach you, and I'm not an expert. So I hope you enjoy the message of what I have today and what I want to teach you today. The subject I want to touch base on is the decisions we currently make in our life are portals of our life. Every decision we make is the opportunity to grow, is the opportunity to create a different life for ourselves. Your decisions currently make your life. And today we are going to talk about timeline shifting. I don't know, and I don't think people truly understand how powerful their decisions are. And I'm not talking about the big decisions, and I'm talking about the little small ones that lead to big decisions. And how the people we go back to, the things we tolerate, the moments we stay silent, the opportunities we avoid, the dreams we talk ourselves out of, because people think life just happens to them. You know, we think that we have no control over the decisions we currently are in, the situations we're currently in. But I genuinely believe our decisions create an entire version of our lives. And honestly, I didn't fully understand that until my own life completely fell apart. There were periods in my life where everything changed all at once. My mom got deported. And if you ever had anybody ripped away from your life like that, you understand how unsafe it feels. It feels like your entire reality shifted from overnight, changed from overnight. And at the same time, I also called off an engagement. I'm currently 28, and this was about 9 years ago. And 9 years ago. And I remember feeling like everything I thought my life was going to be collapsed. Like literally everything. The future I imagined, the identity I had attached myself to, the comfort, the familiarity, everything was completely gone. And what's crazy is that looking back now, I realized that I was standing in the middle of two completely different lives. And I'm going to explain that. One version of me could have chosen pain. One version of me could have chosen to stay angry, stay bitter, stay stuck, stay in survival mode. And honestly, that would have been understandable. I think everybody would have validated me. And I think everybody would have been like, I get it. I'm so sorry. I feel so sorry for you. But I didn't want that, because there was another version of me, a version of me that I decided I'm not going to let this destroy me. And truly, I believe that decisions change everything. From my mom's deportation, I could have completely just been like, hey, this is where kind of just have to stay the same. I'm suffering and guilt. Ending my engagement was such a huge identity crisis, where I thought that eventually I was never going to find something greater than me. But deep down in me, the core of me, I knew that that wasn't it. There was just two versions of my life. And this is where I started to realize something deeper. People think they're living one life, but I really, really don't think we are. I think every decision we make opens a different path, a different possibility, a different version of ourselves. And the craziest part is that it's actually science behind this. So, your brain literally rewires itself based on repeated decisions. So, for example, decisions. Oh my God, what is going on here? I'd be able to read that. Decisions. Decisions equals brain. Oops. Whatever. Equals identity. Equals life. So every decision triggers your brain, allows you to create an identity out of it. That the identity becomes your life. Have you ever thought about that? This is called neuroplasticity, meaning that things you repeatedly choose become neural pathways. So if every day you choose fear, your brain becomes familiar with fear. If every day you choose self-abandonment, your brain becomes comfortable with abandoning yourself. If every day you choose toxic relationships, your nervous system starts at that, identifying chaos as love. And eventually, that becomes your identity. Get it? So the decision was, if your brain becomes familiar with, so the decision is, what are you going to do? Are you going to be choosing fear or love? What are you going to do? Because fear triggers the brain to do things that will identify with the fear. Got it? So if your decision is based off of fear, your brain will completely be like, ooh, trigger. This becomes my identity. And this becomes my life. And literally your decisions are literally the reason you are who you are today. Your identity creates your life, as we had discussed. Decisions, brain, identity, life. Decisions, brain, identity, life. So make sure that every decision you make, it's creating and activating the life you want to get to. And I know it's cliche. I know that maybe it isn't something that we think about every day. I know maybe in your thought process, you are full of fear because that's how we were programmed to be. But you weren't meant to live in fear. I feel that, yes, we come here to have a human experience, but we also come here to choose the type of experience we have. And that's the beautiful part. I heard this quote where it said, El amor de tu vida, which means the love of your life, está esperando que dejes la herida de tu vida. The love of your life is waiting for you to let go of the person that hurt you. Pretty much. It sounds better in Spanish. But pretty much saying, if you're stuck in a relationship or in the what if, like maybe we could have worked it out, maybe we could have pushed through. But in reality, have you ever thought that how your life will look if you think of the what if it all works out? What if me leaving that person is really what I'm meant to do? What if I was meant for so much more? Instead of being, what if you find someone better? What if I don't find nobody? You see, when we choose fear, we're choosing the lack of choosing ourselves. We're choosing the lack of self-love. And I know that sounds cliche and people are going to be like, oh my God, self-love. But in reality, it's deeper than that. You know, and not to get too scientific, there is a concept in quantum physics that talks about multiple possibilities existing at once. Now, I'm not saying we're magically jumping dimensions like, oh, fuck yeah, you know, and those who understand that, understand it, and you don't, it's okay. But I do believe there are different possible outcomes available to your life right now. And I believe that if you believe in that dream, if you believe that you are meant to find the love of your life, I don't care how long it takes. And I feel like humanity always puts a clock on when we're meant to find that. When we're meant to find the love of our life. When we're meant to have children. When we're meant to buy a home. When we're meant to buy a car. When we're meant to have a career. And every path looks different. And we don't realize that my dear friend Lauren, which I'm not seeing, but yeah, when we had her at the pod, she made me understand a lot about how I have this clock that I've always ran against. This clock where it's like, oh my gosh, I want it to happen now. And I become obsessed with this concept of it has to happen today. If not, it's never going to happen. But if you believe it's so true to your core, what makes you believe that it's already not in place? If I could tell you how many times I have predicted my reality, today I'm living the life that I literally prayed when I was very young. And I don't mean to get emotional, but I really am living a life that felt so far out of my reach. And I just want to teach you that you can also believe in that. And even if it sounds like 10 years from now, 10 years are still going to pass. But it's your due diligence to start making those changes today and realize that every option, every decision you make is a portal to your next life. One version of your life exists if you stay. Another exists if you leave. One exists if you heal. Another exists if you avoid yourself forever. And your decisions determine which version becomes real. How does that make sense? And I'm going to say it one more time. One version of your life exists if you stay. Another exists if you leave. One exists if you heal. Another exists if you avoid yourself forever. And your decisions determine which version becomes real. Your decisions determine which version becomes real. Think about relationships. How many people stay in relationships, know they're hurting them because pain feels familiar, right? We grew up, and maybe I'm just talking about myself, but we grew up seeing our parents being super toxic, thinking it was cute, thinking it was a self or some sort of self-love that we were yet to discover as adults. We were kids raising kids. We were kids raising adults, and adults raising kids, and kids raising kids, and we don't realize how a lot of us are put here to change that. It's like, how many people confuse attachment with love? How many people return to the same person, hoping this time it'll be different? So, here's why. You stay, and maybe a lot of people are going to give me shit about this. That's okay. You stay. Oh my gosh. So, guys. You stay. Right? Same relationship. And same pain. And I would like to elaborate on this, okay? Stay, same, relationship, pain. And that doesn't mean that this person is going to keep doing it, right? Doesn't. But tell me a time that you have stayed with someone, and if you're currently with someone, you stay, they do one thing that you do not like. And you feel the same pain as if they betrayed you. You start having less tolerance. Okay. You start genuinely maybe even hating them, which I'm not here to tell you to hate them. Don't hate them, please. But that's what it is. And maybe time will heal. Maybe time will heal, and time will heal you and heal a situation that you were in. And maybe one day things will become better. But what if you didn't decide to stay? What if you decided to leave, heal, and find aligned love? You leave, you heal, and you align with love, with the love you deserve. A lot of the times, the relationships we're in are a reflection of who we are. And I know people hear that all the time. They're like, what the fuck does that mean? I truly believe that at the end of the day, we don't know any better when we put ourselves in situations that continuously hurt us. But there is a point where you maybe try to push back, but you stay back because then you feel comfortable. You're like, well, that's too scary. I don't want to confront that person, and I just leave it alone. We will get better through it. But what if down the road when you have kids, or if you don't have kids, or if you're just talking to a regular friend and they ask you, what's the thing that hurt you the most? I can assure you that pain, you will feel it if you don't leave. And when you heal it, you will feel it. but you will feel a sense of relief because you literally decided that you did not want that life for yourself. People think choosing a person, but sometimes they're choosing a timeline. Once again, people think they're choosing a person, but sometimes they're choosing a timeline. And that's why I always say, el amor de tu vida está esperando que sueltes el amor de tu herida. The love of your life is waiting for you to let go of the love attached to your wounds. Excuse me? The love of your life is waiting for you to let go of the love attached to your wounds. The love of your life is waiting for you to let go of the love attached to your wounds. So many people are trauma bonded. And I'm sorry if this became more of like relationships. But I feel like we've all experienced relationships. Relationships with our parents. Relationships with a love. Relationships with a spouse. Relationship with a kid. Relationship with a friend. And then we don't realize that we're attached to a wound that feels safe. Because in reality, the healed version of you does not choose the same things anymore. And this doesn't apply to love. Maybe it does. Actually, it does apply to love. This also applies to the way we grow up too. Some people grow up around chaos, pain, fear, abandonment, survival, and without realizing, we spend our entire life and in our adulthood recreating what feels familiar. We might find somebody that we're on and off with, and that's in relationships, and that's in friendships, that's in family. And it's because our nervous system becomes addicted to what it understands. And honestly, that realization changed me. Realizing that my nervous system is what keeps me addicted to the chaos, the survival, to the abandonment. I realized that I could either repeat my pain or heal it. I could repeat cycles or break them. I could stay in survival mode forever or become someone new, someone soft, someone that loves their life. But sometimes even with purpose, people don't realize how many timelines they abandon because of fear. Not posting the video, not starting the business, not speaking up, not believing in themselves. So for example, today, I had a choice. I had a choice to create video, right? What does that mean? Content. What does that mean? Upload. What does that mean? Create an impact. Today I chose to create an impact. Today I chose to not be comfortable because I've been dreading this video for longest. Because I'm scared. But no, I'm not scared. Because I was scared. Because nobody has ever done this. Nobody in my family has ever sat there and talked to a camera telling them about how decisions are timelines, and how every decision is a portal. So that's really vulnerable for me because 100% I am the weird one. But you know what? I think about it and I think one day the years are going to pass. And I'm going to wonder why my life never changed. And maybe you're going to let years pass. And you're going to wonder why your life never changed. But because you never did anything to change it. Until your decisions do. Then you will create a different reality. Having a child is big one. It's not light. I think children are the most precious things in the world. And we don't realize that one day they're going to have to make their own decisions. And you have to be the person that is an example for that. One of the hardest truths is people like to say, I'm stuck. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. You do. You are just repeating the same thoughts, same fears, same patterns, same decisions. And those same decisions keep producing the same reality. So here's what generally changed my life before making decisions. I started asking myself, would the healed version of me choose this? Would my future self stay here? Would the version of me that has everything I want accept this behavior? Would she settle? Would she betray herself? Would she go backwards? Now I want you to ask yourself those questions, even if you're a guy. Those are the questions that started changing everything. Sometimes I sit in the bed and I'm like, fuck, I do not want to go to the gym. But then I think about the version of me that I want to be when I'm 30. In my mid-30s, in my late 30s, in my early 40s, my 60s. And I know that the version of me is healthy. And I must start with that today, even if I don't feel like it. And it might sound cliche, but consistency and determinacy is what God grants the biggest favor for you. Because it's the biggest thing we lack, is consistency and determination. I truly believe that there's versions of you already living the life you want. A version of you that healed, that chose themselves, that made the hard decisions, that stopped repeating, that stopped abandoning themselves, and stopped choosing fear. And maybe the reason you found this video is because deep down, you know it's time to become them. If this resonates with you, I'm going to continue teaching more about this, because awakening isn't just spirituality. It's awareness, it's responsibility, it's realizing your life changes the moment your decisions do. And I hope, once again, this video finds the right public, the right audience, and I hope you guys feel somewhat connected to what I said and how I said it, and I hope we all learned something today. And if you guys would like to see more videos of us having a little chat with our tea, let me know. I would love to do that for you guys and create a safe space where we can just kind of chit-chat, lay back, get our tea. And talk about the wonders of life. Let me know what you guys would like me to teach next. And I hope to see you guys here next. Thank you, and thank you for watching the Awaken the Minds. And I hope that this lecture, I don't know what we're going to call this just yet. Help. I hope this shifts your timeline, and I hope you create a timeline where you are in complete abundance and happiness and safe, and you no longer have to run away from things that you don't talk about. Thank you guys, and I will talk to you soon.